All right there. So everything's going. Midnight Discovery Meeting 2. My name's Keller.
All right. My name is Phil.
My name is Sean. Glad to be here.
Okay, yeah. And so gathering to talk about Bitcoin, Ethereum, and blockchain in general. And we went ahead and got down through some of the formalities. However, what would you like to eat? Would you like a hot dog, eggs, bacon?
Right now I'm quite alright. I appreciate the offer.
Okay, you're good for now?
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
How about you?
Oh, Langostini with
No, there you go.
no, Keller. I'm
You
cool.
good?
I'm
You
cool.
good for now? Yeah, I'm
just-
actually not too hungry at the moment either. So.
I just want to learn about this stuff.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm right
good
there
enough.
too.
All right.
Hungry for knowledge. There you go.
Okay, well, good stuff. So yeah, we can. Let's just get into it then. And we'll do some programming on that computer. I'll see how that webcam plays with the programming, and we might do that actually quite early in the system. But then if we have to restart the webcam, we'll just do that.
Okay.
But yeah, so the lesson plan for today was Ethereum and Programming. Flip it over real quick to the blockchain study session on the back. So I'm just going to go over the general topics that we'll be going over in this meeting and future meetings. The 0 through 100 topics is basically an outline and some major people involved in cryptocurrencies and blockchain in general. The 100 through 200 is talking about preservation of preservation and cryptography, kind of in political climates. And then 200 will be Tails and Tor, 300 Tor and blockchain, 400 Bitcoin, 500 finance and politics, 600 AMD and mining, 700 Ethereum. That's today Ethereum and programming. 800, which we did yesterday, was altcoins, and then 900 will be for future uses. And if we want to make some changes to that, I'm all for it, you know.
Yeah.
Is there? Granted, I just went over it real quickly. Was there anything on there that you think we should add to the little program or change in the program?
Looks good to me so far. Yeah. If I think of anything, I'll definitely let you know though.
I'm not sure where you're going to get into. Let's just say the actual nuts and bolts of how do you if I want to invest.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, where are you going to be?
Yeah.
I want to go from theory to making money.
yeah. Okay, gotcha. So I'll do some of the nuts and bolts today.
Okay.
Yeah,
Well,
said some of them.
Okay.
Yeah.
Cool.
So just the quickest way, the way that I normally recommend people is just to go to Coinbase.com, and then you just set up an account and you purchase some Ethereum, Bitcoin, Litecoin. These are your options at Coinbase. Which one do you use?
Coinbase, yeah, that's the easiest for Americans for the last 3 years.
Is it? Okay, that's what I thought. Yeah. And then there's other ones like Bittrex, which are more complicated, and I've not used them. But Patrick has.
One thing I would note, though, is once you do get it linked to your bank account, make sure you set up two-factor authorization so people can't just, hack into your Coinbase. If they get your Coinbase account, they can literally drain your bank account and transfer the Bitcoins onwards. So just make sure, you take proper security precautions when setting it up, because it is just like money in cash at that point. It's online cash.
Yeah, so what he's talking about is Coinbase might offer some protection. I don't even know what they do. But treat it as if there's no protection, no FDIC, no government that will bail you out and get your money back if someone steals it, or you just forget how to get it. If you write down your password and just forget your password, there's no one who can really help you.
Yeah, I would guard it even more carefully than your bank accounts, because like you said,
Yeah.
It's not FDIC insured or anything.
Well, and one thing I think of personally in terms of guarding it is to make sure someone else or two other people in your life know how to acquire your Bitcoin and Ethereum for will and estate reasons.
Certainly.
Yeah, so a lot of people recommend those treasures, and I think they call them nanos and stuff, which are these little USB sticks that have all your Ethereum on them. And you can, I'll kind of do it today, but it runs a light client. It's called a light client on a USB stick. and it's really good for protecting your Ethereum. However, you need to make sure other people know where to find it or how to access it. If you were to just suddenly die and you have a USB stick with $100,000 in your pocket or whatever the case, what if no one knows to look for it or whatever? And then likewise, the idea of carrying around such a amount of money in your pocket is a little bit extreme. I haven't really gone through it all the way as to like what's the best idea, but I kind of think the best idea is to give one, and I'll get into all the detail here, one key file or key store to a relative, or whatever the case may be, and give your password to a different relative. And then if these two know who each other are, or whatever the case, or maybe you don't even tell them who they are, you just say one of the relatives has it. I don't know, that might be a little bit confusing. Of course, you don't want them like to collude with each other and steal your money, but if you give it to two different relatives, one the password, one the key file, that's a fairly minimal level of, just one relative cannot steal it all. And then likewise, if you were to pass, you've trained two people on how to access all your money. So for will and estate reasons, you're protected. A lot of people don't talk about that. A lot of people talk about outside hackers, which of course is a problem. But the problem that comes up much more frequently is someone's computer gets destroyed, their house gets burned down, someone just frankly dies suddenly, and then their Ethereum becomes, or Bitcoin becomes inaccessible. One of the most famous cases of that is the person who founded Bitcoin. He essentially disappeared off the face of the planet, and his Bitcoins are worth $2 billion. Where did he go to? No one knows. Why hasn't he accessed this $2 billion? No one knows. But there it is. And there's no FDIC that can help him out.
And they can verify on the blockchain that, it's still sitting in those wallet addresses. And
yeah, so what he's saying there is, in terms of verify on the blockchain, unlike a bank account, which like SunTrust or First Tennessee, they know all the bank account info. Everybody knows all the blockchain info. So
all transactions are public ledger.
Yeah, all of them are public ledger, so we can all look at Satoshi's blockchain address, which has like the 2 billion Bitcoins, and just watch it do nothing.
Yeah, and so we don't know who owns the wallet address, but we know that there's a wallet address that has those, and you can see the transfer dates and the timestamps. So it goes back to 2009 or 10 or whenever it was created.
Yeah, right, 2009. Yeah, you got it. I was actually just looking up all this stuff because I wasn't really too into Bitcoin, to be honest. Well, I got into Bitcoin, but I got into it right at the bubble.
Yeah.
And anyways, so I got a little bit
bummed
out. Yeah, I got in there in the very first humongous bubble.
The
$1,000 bubble, and then I held it for about 8 months, and then it didn't do anything for 8 months. And, the Bitcoins that I bought would be like 400% gain over 2 years, but I waited 6 months rather than 2 years,
Yeah, it's very volatile, and you kind of wonder about the opportunity cost for your investments.
Yeah, over 6 months I lost 20% or 10% or something. And I was like, 20%? Who can afford losing such an amount of money? And then I lost 300% by selling it. So,
Definitely not like a traditional currency.
no, stock and shit, yeah. No, so... Okay, so I'll go ahead and start with some of the nuts and bolts of Ethereum. So, this is what I wanted to do anyway. It needed to be done. So, regarding the buying Ethereum, Coinbase and whatever is a good one. And in terms of running the Ethereum client, I'm going to try to do that now. And I'm going to try to run the Lite client on this computer. And the Lite client is the one that runs on laptops, really most home computers, and cell phones. And the Lite client boots up really quickly. And then there's the full client, which requires graphic cards, and that thing is quite slow. On a laptop, it might take 2 weeks if it will work at all.
So probably has to download the whole blockchain or something first. Yeah.
Yeah, so it'll take 2 weeks if it works at all on a laptop, or if you got a gaming computer, it might work in like 4 hours.
Nah, like a high-end graphics.
Yeah, high-end graphics card. But you have to have a separate graphics card, basically, to get the full client to work on your computer. But the light client will just work on anything.
Yeah. And I'm guessing it kind of sits on top of something, is that right, to do the transaction?
The light and the full?
The light sits, yeah, it's kind of...
Okay, so the full, the one with the graphics card is all of the Ethereum, and it's working all the Ethereum. And the main thing that defines the full is the full can mine.
Ah, okay.
So yeah, if you're running the full client and you want to, you can just type the words mine, and then you get to mine Ethereum, and you get paid for running the Ethereum network. The light client, all it does is sends a transaction to somebody else who does all the work for you, and then tells you it got done.
This is basically like a wallet.
But yeah, sit on top is right. Yeah, wallet. Yeah.
Okay, I'm with you.
Yeah, sit on top. That's really the best way to say it.
Yeah, I'm with you now.
Okay, so I'm going to pick up this video thing, and we'll see how this works. Okay, so this is on the... Woo! Oh, gosh darn.
You want me to hold it for you?
No, that's alright. It's just confusing, but yeah, so...
If you put it on this chair, it should be stable.
No, that's fine. I just gotta, okay, I need to leave this... Yeah, you're right. Let's put it on the chair. Doo-ka-doo-ka-doo. So if y'all want to get closer, you can. This is going to be the how to like install the light client onto your computer.
Okay.
And
Are you
this,
familiar with it?
Not with the light client. I've only traded Ethereum through website-based wallets.
yeah. So you want to try to get off the websites kind of as quickly as you can. And the reason you want to get off the websites is that, like Coinbase even or whatever, if they get hacked, then they can steal a whole ton of Ethereum, and no matter what anybody tells you, there's no way for the Coinbase people to get it back. So, alright, so I'm going to start typing...
Yeah, because you're basically trusting Coinbase to be the custodian of your private keys at that point.
Right. So this is really the way that you want to run your Ethereum as far as I know, and that is to get into the command line prompt. I'll go through this some more in the back end here in a second, but I'm going to show the basics first. So to get it into the command line prompt, there's two programs. You want to get Ethereum.org, and that will give you the wallet. And then I just have to Google Go Ethereum or GETH Gith, and you'll go to GitHub, Go Ethereum, and then that gives you this program here that I'm about to use. And the wallet is like the simple program to use every day, and Gith is the one that you can get to do what you want. So the wallet basically just has one button, Go, and Gith has a bunch of different buttons. Okay, and it's the backbone to Ethereum. Okay, so to get here, you go to your start menu, type run, then you type CMD, command, and then from there, no matter what it's showing, you pretty much want to type this here, which is CD space C : program files / GETH Gith. Maybe it's program files 86 for you, but whatever. This gets you into Gith, and then from here it's quite, well, I'm going to say quite simple, but it's not really. You type Gith and then space -- light, and then I'm yelling again. I gotta stop yelling. But anyways, and then cache equal 1024. Okay.
Okay, let me ask you a question.
Yeah.
This Gith program, did you download this from Ethereum.org?
No, it's GitHub.
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 GITHUB.org?
I'm actually not positive. The Gith is actually sort of hard to figure out how to get it.
Yeah.
You can get it somewhere from
GitHub
Ethereum.org.
is typically like a code repository website, but I think if you probably Googled GETH is GitHub, GITHUB, it would come up.
Okay.
Okay, so what I'm about to do now, if anyone's ever having trouble running Ethereum, this is exactly how to fix your issues. Assuming you don't have a graphics card, you're not trying to do mining. All you have to do is get into here, type gith light space cache equal 1024, press enter. Now this is going to try to download Ethereum while running the webcam on a computer that was bought about 8 years ago or whatever. So this is quite an old computer.
Got the Core i3 going strong.
Core i3, yeah, there you go, i3. So so this is really going to maximize its capabilities, but we'll see if it can get it done. And I'll just keep talking while that thing's doing its thing. Stuff is coming up. The main thing you want to wait is for it to say synchronizing the blockchain. That's always nice to see. I'm going to take a break for a second and let it do its thing.
And so when you type that command, the GETH hyphen
dash
light, what is that doing exactly? Is that what's
Okay.
launching the download program?
the light.
Yeah. It's launching the block synchronization, but it is the download program, but they'll call it block synchronization program. And then by default, if you just type GETH, it will do something, but it's going to run the full, and basically you'll never get you'll never finish. It takes about 2 weeks running constantly on a laptop of this quality, which is not a terrible laptop. Okay, great. It's block synchronizing now, which is good. It's synchronizing in huge blocks. It's like 2048. And I think it's actually done already, which is kind of nice. But once it starts going one at a time every minute, then that's how you know it's done.
Okay, I don't know what this has done.
Well,
it's basically, it's probably got to download the whole blockchain to synchronize with the wallet so that it has the full transaction. Remember, the whole ledger is public, so it's got to basically catch up and get to the point we're in right now.
Yeah, so I'm just going to make
This
this...
is the first Ethereum.
So this is... I'm going to let it go for just a little bit longer to make sure it's done. I'm almost positive it's done, but for most people who try to install Ethereum, I tell you, they'll be watching this for 3 days and they'll be like, okay, it's almost done, right? And I don't know why, but Ethereum has something where it likes to get 50% done in 1 day, 70% in 2 days, 89, and then it just never finishes. It'll never, ever finish.
Yeah, that's kind of how the only experience that I have that's somewhat analogous is Bitcoin Core, and it would be like like when you first start out, you can get all of 2009, 10, and 11 very quickly, but then as you got closer and the transaction volume had rapidly increased, it took a lot more time, and like 80 gigs worth of data to download to get the Bitcoin blockchain.
Okay, so now I've run my GIF, which is the better way to. Oh yeah, so now I'm going to open the wallet. So the wallet is the easy to use interface. That you get from Ethereum.org, and this is what they kind of give you by default. And this has a version of Gith or whatever, but it's harder to use it. So I just get the standalone program. And this will be quite taxing on the computer, but we'll just let it go.
And you're also video recording stuff, which is going to put a strain on it as well.
Yeah, but I will say the light client,
which is what I'm running. If I didn't do that cache 1024, it is designed to run in the background. So if you're not, so there we go. So that's my wallet there, and I just have three addresses in here. This one will be the Midnight Discovery address.
Now, if I memorize your address there, can I
No.
edit your money?
Whoops. It's just his public key, his private key's hidden.
Good.
Yeah, so, yeah. Okay, let's see.
For all you YouTubers out there.
Right, all you YouTubers out there. Okay, so, so you can title these addresses, by typing in them. Okay, yeah, there it goes. Okay, that's good enough right there. So I got a title over that one. I got domains here. I got my little nephew. I gave him a little bit of Ethereum to do some work for me on the ENSs. But there you go. That's the whole thing. So this is the thing that will take most people, like quite a few days to get done, to be honest with you. It took me about 3 weeks the first time I tried to. Really, it took me about a month and a half, to be honest. I kept waiting to download the Ethereum and buy the Ethereum until I could get this done. Because they're like, okay, I just want to make sure I can download the blockchain. Anyways, I lost a lot of money trying to figure this out. Yeah, I wanted to get control over it first, but I lost a lot of money just waiting for me to get this done. So now that I get this done, I'll go ahead and just show one transaction over. Nah, I'm not going to do it. Nah, there's no point to. But if I want to send someone Ethereum, I can go to send here, and then you click on this key. They don't really tell you where to click. You could click around all day if you want to, but if you click on the key, then you get to do multiple accounts, right? So there you go. And so you pick who you want to send it to, and then you never, ever, ever should really type it into there. You always want it to be a situation where you're copying and pasting. So here's the code here. So if I click this here, copy address. You always want to just click this copy address button. Over in this area.
I'm sorry, where I see it.
Yes. I wonder if this is filming this whole computer. Yeah, it is. Cool. But yeah, so you always click this copy address button. Mm-hmm. So like if you want to tell somebody to send me money, copy address, send it to here. Now I'm almost positive this is caps lock sensitive. So lowercase a is different from capital A.
Makes sense.
I'm not absolutely positive there.
It is.
It is.
Yeah,
okay.
It's a different ASCII character.
Yeah, and then okay, and that's it. And apparently, you can fund with a credit card in the U.S. Really? I don't know about that, but apparently, this is claiming that you can. Powered by Coinbase. Okay, so here's how you do it with a credit card. So if you didn't want to open a Coinbase account, I guess, this probably opens one for you, you can do it this way. But they charge more fees if you fund by credit card, I'm sure. And then you can always, and then you can always fund with Bitcoin right here, so you can transfer your Bitcoins right in the system. Rather than selling your Bitcoins, buying Ethereum, you do it in one transaction. Maybe it's better for you, I don't know. At least it's instantaneous. Transfer your tokens there. And then there's... let me see the little option. Okay, come on now. Okay, these are the things that come up in here. Check for updates. Here's the GitHub that I mentioned before. Quite often, I'll have to re-click this button to get this thing going again. This is the GIF node. I'll just go here and click it, but frankly, just going into run command prompt has been more consistent for me. I never trust this thing. And side note, you always have to start the GIF before you do the wallet. If you do the wallet and then the GIF, it'll take a lot longer.
Okay.
Yeah, so you want to start your GIF first.
And so the GIF is basically like a background service that has to be running
Yes.
to help the power of the wallet.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, the only difference between this version of GIF, or whatever that I'm using here, the wallet will always run it as well, but it won't run it in a way that you can see it. So it makes people very uncomfortable because the wallet does not have a little icon that lets you know it's working.
Right.
The icon that lets you know it's working is not like very consistent, but here you can see it's working. And when we did it before, this thing wouldn't have done anything for the first 3 minutes if it was just in the wallet, whereas we saw it processing stuff.
Yeah.
Now you say this is the light version?
Yeah, this is the light version.
And the full version is much more demanding, and you say with the full version you can actually turn on mine.
Yeah, you can turn on mining. And actually, let me show you all this real quick. I'll show you all this too. So here I'm going to go to, I think this is the wrong area, but let me just see. So this is application data. This is the wrong area, but there's two areas that are important. So I'm going to go to backups account. So this is it, backup account. And just to let you know the path, it's going to get you to app data roaming Ethereum. So anyways, I think it works on multiple profiles. So GIF chain data, this is where the Ethereum blockchain, everything I've downloaded is located here. Now if I download the entire blockchain, I forget how big it is, but I want to say it's something like 4 gigabytes maybe.
In Bitcoin, it's well over 80 at this point. It's close to 100 gig.
Bitcoin's about 100 gig, yeah. Ethereum's, I know it's not as big as Bitcoin, but yeah, like, so Bitcoin's 100 gigs. So it has to, if you want to mine, like you were mentioning before, you have to download all 100, I think, before you can start to do it, all 100 gigs.
Right.
And so is that like every time you start to mine, you have to...
Well, you have to re-up it, so you keep it. So you don't have
synchronized, yeah.
So
you just have to stay up to date, and the reason it takes so long the first time is because you're downloading all the transactions from the beginning of the currency.
Okay.
And then the other thing you want to... I meant to mention this. So if you want to download the full one, there is one quick way to do it, which I didn't show here, but we could do it if we wanted. It is, you can do, instead of --light, you do --fast. And fast will be able to get you to mine pretty quickly as well, but what's
the difference between fast and light, I guess?
Yeah, fast actually downloads the entire thing still, whereas light does not. Light just downloads basically the last 2 months, essentially, of the blockchain.
Yeah.
So fast will download the full thing. However, in order to do fast, you have to first delete everything in chain data. So you have to delete everything in chain data and then do fast. So that's the only reason I wanted to show that, really. It's not really too useful.
Yeah.
And then key store. Now this is actually super important. So key store is where you keep all your secret codes. So this is like, that'd be like your little key, whoops. Nobody can get info from here, but this is like your key store here, and then you, within here is a very complicated password. It's very long and complicated that is fully encrypted that you and I can't even see if we try to open it. They made it just full encrypted in Ethereum, I believe. And so, so in order to get your Ethereum, you have to both have this complicated code, which is not what you're seeing here. It's about 50 times longer than this. So you have to get this file here. So you have to get this file, and then you have to know the password to get into it. So your password could be short, it could be long. Of course, it should be long. And then this file is essentially impossible to reproduce. So this is why you do not typically want to send your key store over email. Because then if someone gets your email and they download your key store from the email, I think they have unlimited attempts to guess your password.
Right, yeah, they can brute force it.
They can brute force your password. So to get there, you go to backup, backup accounts, and that'll get you both the GIF and then the chain data, or the key store, which is the main thing that most people need to get to is just always make 2 or 3, 4, 5, 6 copies of your key store.
That's the one you would give to your different family members.
Yeah.
So when you're recording this, did you just record your secret numbers?
No.
He didn't open the file.
Yeah, I didn't open the file, and then I don't even know if you can in Ethereum anymore.
They would probably have to sit there. Hopefully, the window would have to show the whole thing, and then someone would have to sit there and write down all.
Yeah, but I didn't know. But so just briefly with the cryptocurrency or whatever, this number here is the number that people pay me to. So all of these are unique, and I have a number. You have a number, whatever. Sean has a number. Sean, right? Mm-hmm. Yeah. And then, so all of these are unique, but then in order for me to send money away from that, so people write you a letter, but if you wanted to send money away from that, instead of this little number, I have to use a number that's like 50 times longer than that, plus a password. I have to use that plus a password.
It'd be like its public and private key.
This is called this is called your public key, and PGP, like you said, and then the really long one that the really long one that Ethereum keeps hidden or whatever, that's your private key.
Yeah, you don't want to share your private key with anyone, but you can share your public key with anyone, and that way they can give you money. You want to share your public one with as many people
Send
as
me
possible.
money.
Exactly.
Send me money.
Okay, so that's...
Donations welcome.
Yeah, so that pretty much wraps it up on that little portion of it, so that's pretty good. So that kind of gets people... Okay, let's get this back. Gets people some basics going on if they wanted to. Sweet!
I think we're getting a storm out there.
Yeah.
Sound like
Okay, that's good. Right there. So did that help both of you guys out?
yeah, that was a good introduction to the light. I'd never even seen that. So.
Yeah, a lot of people don't know about it. They don't really advertise it enough. And the default is the full. So people assume that the default is going to work, but the default basically never works.
Right,
So
you got to have a super.
you got to have a supercomputer. If you play video games for a living or whatever, but if you play if your computer can run like StarCraft and Warcraft, then it can run the full, but otherwise it can't.
Okay.
Yeah. Let me actually, we can move that one chair a little bit to the side. Not that it really matters. Cool. All right, good. So now I'm going to actually just take it through the list here.
What?
For the rest of the conversation, probably, and then we'll kind of like piecemeal it for anything we have questions on. So this is Ethereum 100 programming. 2009, Bitcoin began, and Bitcoin, I forget what it is selling for initially. It is probably pennies, whatever the case.
Fractions, yeah.
Yeah, and now it's like $3,000. And then Vitalik. He was a big fan of Bitcoin, got a little bit of the Bitcoin, and then in 2013, he said, you know what, I got an idea for Ethereum. And then in January of 14, he did the white paper, and a white paper is like your vision or whatever. A lot of people get it confused with a business plan. A white paper sort of is, but it's really just the idea of what you want to do in programming code. And then in April of that year, Dr. Gavin Wood, he wrote the yellow paper, which is the technical, how to do it, for the Ethereum virtual machine. So that basically, all the technical aspects of Ethereum, that would be the yellow paper. So white paper, the vision, yellow paper, the technical details. And then he had the pre-launch sale, which was basically at the dot-com bubble time. They got about $20 million from that, and they sold all their Ethereum for 35 cents, which is now $400. So about, I don't know, do y'all know the return on that?
1,000.
A lot.
Yeah.
A lot.
100,000.
I think it's 100,000%.
Yeah.
So I think that's 100,000% return. But either case, so if you owned 100 Ethereum, anyways, not gonna even do it.
Yeah, hindsight's 20/20.
Hindsight's 20/20. It's a lot of money. So, so then Frontier, the basics for Ethereum, got launched July 2015. That really couldn't do all too much, but it did do some things. Started the smart contracts, etc., etc. And then the bubble busted at the end of 2015, and this was kind of a, if you watch some of the videos, Vitalik will talk about this some, and they didn't know where Ethereum was really going to go after the bubble busted. And then he also had a lot of Ethereum, and then he decided to move it over to Bitcoin because they felt that the Ethereum Foundation should not be dependent upon the finances of Ethereum, that they should split it between Bitcoin, Litecoin, and all the others. So he grabbed quite a bit of a Bitcoin at that time, and it turned out quite well because Bitcoin went up before Ethereum, but then Ethereum went boom. So March 2016, Homestead, which is the current version, it got released on Pi Day, March 14th. That's the current version. So right now we're June 2017, so we're about a year after this. So Ethereum's been released in the current version about a year. Right after the release, they had something called the DAO reset or the DAO fork, and that made Ethereum classic. Yeah. So do you know about the DAO fork?
Wasn't it like an attacker stole almost like a third of the Ethereum in circulation, right? Or held them ransom, and they decided to roll back kind of the integrity of Ethereum and basically reset those coins or something like that. I don't know.
That is basically it. So the DAO was a collective, and they had raised $150 million. So Ethereum, when they first started, they raised $20 million, and then the DAO raised $150 million.
Yeah.
And then the DAO was a contract, so programmed within the Ethereum. And the programmers on the DAO end, they messed it up, and they basically were going to lose every dollar that anybody had given them, and everybody in cryptocurrency would have been burned up to $150 million. And in addition, the people who attacked the blockchain, they would have $150 million in order to spend on attacking future blockchains.
Yeah.
These people are not amateurs, so if you give them $150 million to like continue attacking you, it's quite problematic. So Ethereum decided to reset in order to prevent that, and that's called a hard fork, and that made Ethereum Classic. So in Ethereum Classic, the attackers, the cheats, they are really rich in Ethereum Classic, and you'll also see a lot of people promoting Ethereum Classic as if it's really Ethereum. It's not. Now, they have programmers who work on it, but within this system, the attackers have a bunch of money. And then in the current Ethereum, you get Vitalik and all the old programmers who wanted to keep doing it. And then when Ethereum started going big time, frankly, it was going big time quite a bit in early 2017. But March 2017, the Enterprise Ethereum Alliance began, and that's when the banks and businesses moved into Ethereum, and 116 major companies, which is like Toyota, Chase Manhattan, JP Morgan, a bunch of others, I don't know who else. I don't even know the names, but just a lot of big companies. They're all moving into the Ethereum blockchain for their development security. So this would be like a bank using Ethereum on the back end to run its programs. Now, just to be clear, they won't be on the public blockchain, so they won't use Ethereum in the sense that we use it, but they'll be on the private blockchain. So, so the main benefit here is that essentially, like Toyota can pay to get 100 or 200 or 300 programmers to come work for Toyota, and then when those people retire, they go into Ethereum and work on the public blockchain. So, if you didn't work with the enterprise people, then you'd end up with this competition between private industry developing their own code, public industry developing a completely different code, and these two would constantly fight each other, sort of. But instead, Ethereum, the public and the private ones are both using the same one. They can work together, but they're frankly just not going to. One will be private, the other will be public. However, the people who develop it can work for both. So that's that's one of the huge advantages. Likewise, the private people, I'm not positive, but I believe that they probably put a lot of money into Ethereum because they're now obsessed with like driving Ethereum for themselves and stuff, and that's kind of helpful too.
Is it correct to like kind of imagine it as like Ethereum's kind of the base foundation, and like these different banks and other people are building their own coins on top of it, or are they not depending on the Ethereum
Okay, no, I think it's better not to think about it like that. Okay. So there's the ICOs, or the initial coin offers, and I'll use one example as WeTrust because I'm more familiar with that one. WeTrust is built on top of Ethereum. I'll go and this part's a little confusing, but like Bitcoin, you can't really build anything on top of it. Like it has to do something more basic than Bitcoin. Yeah. Which there's no desire for things more basic than Bitcoin. But WeTrust, Ethereum does all programs, and WeTrust just does one program, which is lending. And so WeTrust is built within the Ethereum system or on top of the system. Now, the bankers and stuff, theirs will just be completely separate. So, like for example, I don't even think that they'll be purchasing gas to run their programs, not in this way. I think they'll actually purchase their own gas from their own Ethereum coins that they release. For example, now just to be clear, I could start my own Ethereum. I could download the Ethereum that I have today, and I can just call it Keller's and start it myself. And I can share it with you guys and share it with a few other people or whatever the case.
Time out.
Uh-huh.
Do you understand, Sean, what is being talked about here?
Not 100%, because do you not have to convert Ethereum to it? Do you not have to first have Ethereum to get your own company, like if you're going to do an ICO?
For an ICO, you do. If it's going to be within the Ethereum, within the public one, you do.
Okay, what I'm not understanding
Yeah.
is, first off, I don't understand what blockchain
Oh, sure, yeah.
is. And second, when you talk about building on top of,
Right.
I don't know what you're,
Okay.
you know, when you're talking about gas.
Yeah.
I don't know, what are we talking, I don't know what you're talking about.
Yeah, that stuff does get hard. So,
Any questions?
so first let me talk about the building on top of question. So, let's say you have a calculator for simplicity. Your calculator can add, subtract, multiply, and divide. So maybe one person makes a program that only adds, and let's just call this we add program. Another person makes a program that only divides, and this would be called like the we divide program. So these you could say are built on top of this calculator. One just adds, another just divides, but the it's only built on top of it because the calculator had the option of doing multiple things.
Okay. So it's just a programming language, and they chose to use those programming functions within the language.
Everything built on top of has to be simpler than the program itself. So the calculator in my case could do plus, minus, subtract, divide, and then the on top of programs, one of them just did adding, one of them just did dividing.
Okay, so this idea, and it sounds to me like a program language. It's like, so is Ethereum like COBOL or PO1 or like, you know, is it a programming?
It's called Solidity. Yeah.
Say it again?
Solidity.
Solidity.
And I think it's JavaScript based.
Yeah, I don't know.
Solidarity or whatever. Solidity or Solidarity, I forget.
Okay, and so that's the programming language if you are going to do an ICO that you have the programming language. Okay.
Yeah, that's the programming language we'll start learning next month. No, just kidding.
I'll show you where we go.
No. But I mean, seriously, there's very few, just to cover that briefly, there's very few people who understand this language, and they, if you can learn Solidity or Solidarity right now and get to programming, you can make quite a lot of money. And like I mentioned before, so if you spend all the time and energy learning it, you can get a job with either Toyota or Chase Manhattan Bank, since they're going to be using the same program, the same system.
Yeah, I've heard a lot of Big Four companies have tons of blockchain consultants on the payroll at this point.
Yeah. Or you could get a job with just working for the public and do these ICOs and stuff. Right. So these ICOs are on, most of them anyway, frankly, are on top of the blockchain. A lot of Ethereum ICOs or whatever on top of the blockchain.
And so the blockchain, you kind of like, that's like the transaction history.
Oh, right.
That's like all of the public transaction records of that coin, and that's why it's
Ethereum,
public.
you could call it.
And that's why there's kind of a trust that people aren't going to abuse this, and there's not some third-party bank that's going to say, all right, we're going to really give this money over here, because you can see proof of who had what coins where and how they were transferred since the beginning of the currency.
And it's available to everybody.
Right.
I think, or that's how
Yeah,
that's
that's
right.
right.
Is
That's
that
right.
what you're
Yeah.
too? Okay.
So the IRS.
Right.
The IRS always wants to know everything about what's going on.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Okay, so do they have complete access to all?
Yes, they do.
They do, but they don't know who owned what wallets. They can see, all right, this wallet, like we're talking about, we don't know who Satoshi is. We can see that the wallet was created in 2009 and it's got millions of dollars of bitcoins in it. We don't know
billions.
who the IRS should go for that revenue. You don't know who owns that Bitcoin wallet, and a lot of the Bitcoin wallets, like on Coinbase, if you create one, usually they only let you have one address per wallet, but a lot of the other sites will let you generate one for every transaction, and there's as many Bitcoin wallet addresses as there are grains of sand. There's more, actually.
Yeah.
And so you really should, best practice is each transaction create a new address for it.
Well, you can if you want to. But yeah, so all the addresses, it's kind of confusing to me, but I think they start off with all the addresses in there. They just make every address
per wallet. Yeah, they'll start you with like an allotted like 30 or whatever. Yeah.
Yeah, so you can have unlimited new addresses and unlimited bank accounts and unlimited accounts for like one specific thing. It's kind of nice. Like, so for me, I mean, I never got into it because I was, regular banker. I've started just making a lot of addresses for each little thing I like to do. Your vacation bank account, your whatever bank account, your whatever bank account.
Mm-hmm.
It's kind of nice, and it's different than like, so if you buy stock, and you buy like General Electric stock, you can't like separate your stock into your vacation stock, your retirement stock, your fund stock or whatever. But with Ethereum and the Bitcoins, it's easy to.
Right.
It's kind of nice like that.
And again, like kind of going back to the IRS thing, it's really easy to obfuscate it if you do a new address for each transaction, because I mean, how are they going to track and figure out who owns each address?
I don't know.
Yeah. I mean, they can do IP addresses and stuff, but.
So all right. So then the next things on the horizon for Ethereum are Metropolis and Serenity. So Metropolis, which will be released in the near future, and everybody's super excited about Metropolis. I will go into that a little bit later, but I'm not even positive what Metropolis will do, to be honest with you. I think it's doing some form of proof of stake in Metropolis. I could be wrong on that.
I don't know.
But yeah, Metropolis it's supposed to be released like this month, but it will probably be released in like a few months from now, probably around November or whatever.
So is this like a new ICO?
No, Ethereum upgrade.
Oh.
It's the Ethereum upgrade. So Ethereum, unlike Bitcoin, which Bitcoin's done, and this is why I kind of refer to Bitcoin like a little bit more like gold or whatever, Ethereum is still in development. So every so often Ethereum gets an upgrade, which will happen 2 more times, Metropolis and Serenity.
And what happens to your existing units?
It just gets transferred over.
Okay, so there will be some kind of a conversion.
Mm-hmm.
And where you had 100 units or tokens of Ethereum, you'll now have, let's just say it's a 1-for-1, 100 tokens of Metropolis, and then later on 100 tokens of Serenity.
Mm-hmm. And that's exactly right. And it'll all be called, hopefully, ETH, we'll see. But yeah, that's right.
Yeah, that's interesting.
But yeah, that's exactly right. And so, and Serenity is expected to be done about this time next year. And it very well could be done this time next year. It could be 2 years from now for Serenity. There's quite a lot that needs to get done that has not been done for Serenity. Metropolis is kind of any month now, but maybe November might be more accurate for that.
So is this like a whole new system?
Just an upgrade.
You would have to download the Lite again or whatever.
Yeah, like Windows 98, Windows 2010, Windows XP.
Okay.
Windows.
So it's like a new operating system.
Yeah. It's exactly like that. And so, then also I got some terms down here. So Ethereum is the organization. It's the program. It's the foundation. The development, you'll kind of refer to that as Ethereum. Ether is the unit for trade, a Bitcoin, the units used within the Ethereum program. So those are called Ether or Ethers. So like Bitcoin, you just call it Bitcoin. There is no Bitcoin foundation. There is, but it's not very significant. It's not really, But there is an Ethereum foundation, which is actually developing Ethereum. So you have a different term for that. And then you have Ether and Bitcoin. And then the ticker symbol is ETH. And also the domain for Ethereum is .eth. And then when you talk about investing, buying, and selling, people will often say ETH. So typically, buying and selling, they'll just talk about, hey, you got some ETH, you buying some ETH today? How much ETH you got? But then when you're talking about using it, you'll say Ether. And then gas, which is a small portion of the Ether, it's kind of like pennies. The gas is what you use to run a line of code. So in Bitcoin, there's no such thing as like a gas type of system, because Bitcoin, the only thing that you're supposed to do is send a number from here to there, like one number to this number, and in order to do that, you pay a part of that number, a part of your Bitcoin. So I send one Bitcoin over to this other one. I actually am sending like 0.99 Bitcoins, and 0.01 goes to the computer people, the people running the computers. So in Ethereum, instead of part of they've just made a different term, which is, they call it gas, instead of a part of the Ether unit. The part of the Ether unit is just called gas. And it's kind of a little bit complicated, but the miners can barter as to how much gas it costs to run code for. So like right now, with Ethereum jumping in price as quickly as it has, the miners are getting paid like maybe a quarter every time they run a code, whereas the cost to run the code is normally around 4 cents. So the miners might be getting 500% more than what they really should get, and this is some collective bargaining agreement they have over their gas units. It's confusing. It's confusing. And then there's something called the light client, which I mentioned before, which you run on the phone and laptop mode.
Oh, I'm just curious, going back to your thing with the gas. So is this expected to be fixed at sometime in the near future?
Yeah, it's as the price stabilizes. So the gas is expected to be around 5 cents. This is the desire, and people have the option whenever they send their Ethereum. Do you want to support the 5 cent people, or do you want to support the quarter people, the 25 cent people?
Is it faster if you do the quarter?
Yeah, it's
transactions go through.
Mm-hmm. Everybody will take the quarter. Maybe a few of the people take 5 cents.
So some websites might not even take it unless you choose to do the quarter.
Yeah, but more people just enter the system. Basically, so long as it's profitable, more people will enter in the system, and then it'll go down to 5 cents eventually. But since Ethereum has essentially gone from 100 roughly to 400 in a month, you haven't seen 4 times the amount of computers running Ethereum. Thus, there's a shortage and the gas price goes up.
So I bet the volatility makes it more expensive too, right?
That's it. Yeah, that's the volatility. So the volatility, as it goes up, the gas people, rather than like instantly trying to renegotiate and lose money, they take the money until some of the other people say, "Hey, wait a second, you're getting too much." They wait.
It's moving pretty quick. If you want to sell out now, you're going to have to pay the 25 cents.
Yeah, exactly. And then full node requires a graphics card, basically, but it's what miners use, or full node or gaming. Okay, so that covers it for the basics of Ethereum introduction. I'll go on to 7.10, or whatever. This will be on tokens versus a code. Some of this I've already covered, just chatting and stuff. But Bitcoin, you can compare it to a pocket calculator, and I like to think of Ethereum as a programmable calculator. A lot of people will call it a smartphone. That's not really accurate. But a programmable calculator is a bit more accurate. And the difference between, so just a quick thing on the limits and capabilities of Ethereum and blockchain technology in general. Blockchain or Bitcoin can handle quite a lot of number movement, moving one number back and forth, or moving a number back and forth. Ethereum can handle a basic program code back and forth. However, it needs to be low data usage, which would be like a contract, basically. But what it cannot do is it cannot play a movie, play music. It can't store pictures. Anything that requires, because everyone downloads all the Ethereum. So if you wanted to put a movie onto Ethereum, then every single computer has to download the entire thing. So to call it like a smartphone, I mean, I guess so. I guess it's accurate. But I like programmable calculator just because programmable, less pictures. It really, the pictures on Ethereum are only going to be so-so for quite a while.
So, in addition to it being a transaction database, what other features?
Of Ethereum?
Yeah.
Oh, all kinds of, well, I'll go into that some more.
Okay.
Yeah. No, you're right. But yeah, I'll go into that some more. A lot of good features of Ethereum.
Nice.
But yeah, so, and then Bitcoin, it basically moves a number back and forth. Ethereum moves execution upon a code back and forth. Bitcoin is compared to gold. Bitcoin is kind of ancient in terms of computer technology at this point, even though 2009, it says 8 years ago. Bitcoin essentially has full circulation, which means all the Bitcoin has been distributed. People are hopefully buying and selling it, so there's no massive surplus being held on to. And, it has its established value. However, compared to gold, Bitcoin is globally transferable. It's counterfeit proof, which is gold. You always have to get your gold tester to see if you got counterfeit gold. It has lower fees. Bitcoin charges roughly 50 cents to move a Bitcoin now. And it confirms globally in 30 minutes, whereas gold, it could take days or whatever to transfer your money globally. Now, Ethereum as compared to Bitcoin, they're both blockchains. Ethereum's seasoned, but not quite as old as Bitcoin. Ethereum is only in partial circulation, so there are large supplies of Ethereum being stored right now that might be released at some point in the future, which will bring down the value whenever they get put back into circulation.
Is it unlimited, by the way?
Ethereum? No.
It's not. Oh, okay.
Ethereum, he's trying to keep it at 90 million.
Okay.
He wants to keep it at 90 million Ethereums. This is what he said for a long time, which is kind of a little bit different than Bitcoin, because Bitcoin is like a 4% annual growth each year, whereas Ethereum is just flat 90 million.
And Bitcoin's like hard-coded to 21 million max, too. Like, there's no way they could ever release any more than that.
Yeah. So, and I think Ethereum might end up with similar type of things.
Okay, cool.
But I'm not positive. And then Ethereum's in active development, whereas Bitcoin's kind of in a passive upkeep mode. Bitcoin's just trying to not get too far behind, whereas Ethereum's trying to sort of get ahead.
I would say Bitcoin's paralyzed between indecision right now. There's fighting two factions basically, and they can't make an agreement. And transaction times are much longer, and it's basically not working.
Yeah. So, and you're talking about SegWit?
Yeah. SegWit
and BU or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
Now, and frankly, I don't understand them, but so this goes into, we'll discuss a little bit the forking, but so forking gets complicated, which is basically this decision, Microsoft sends you updates, Microsoft decides what updates you gotta get, and you have to take them. Well, in blockchain, someone makes an update, and then each of us have the option of accepting the update or rejecting. If more than half of us reject, which the default answer is always to reject, then it doesn't get adopted.
It's rejected.
Yeah, it's rejected, yeah. So imagine if everyone had to agree, imagine if 50% of Excel users had to accept the Microsoft updates to Excel in order for anyone to get the update.
Great analogy, yeah.
Yeah, so you'd end up with updates going on for 6 months to a year before anything ever gets accepted by people. You got to wait till something's really wrong for an update to go. For example, the thing that he's talking about, SegWit.
Mm-hmm.
SegWit, all it basically does is make Bitcoin go from 50-cent fees per transaction to 20-cent fees per transaction. But the people who get to decide whether to do it or not are the people who are getting paid the fees.
Right.
So the people who are getting paid the 50-cent fees, they want that to essentially continue as long as possible until the absolute breaking point, and then they'll go to 20 cents. So it's kind of a complicated thing.
Yeah, and it's so slow that so much has to be downloaded and transferred at this point that transfers are basically paralyzed. So Ethereum's gaining on it tremendously.
Yeah.
Are you into techie stuff? Are you a programmer?
Yeah. Well, a little bit. I'm a SQL developer.
A what?
Microsoft SQL developer.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Microsoft SQL database analyst. So.
SQL?
Yeah. So
Okay.
SQL Lite. I mean, I prefer to work in Microsoft SQL, but there's definitely different flavors.
Okay.
Yeah, so, man, I hope we can get some programming done at some
Yeah,
point, man.
yeah.
Have you thought about, so what do you think of Solidity? Have you taken a look?
I haven't even looked at it. Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know, I might. And something I thought about doing at some point is trying to gather younger folk.
Definitely. Yeah.
And-
They're much more savvy on average.
Yeah, get some younger folk, even real young people, and kind of do like a camp kind of a thing. Get them into Ethereum, and then get them working for us.
Yeah, we sort of know, and I think, our kind of age and wisdom could guide them.
I'm thinking of miners and
Yeah, right.
Back to work.
sending the kids into the mine. You know,
Right.
Child labor laws.
child labor laws be damned.
Yeah, well, we sort of are, but send them into the programming mine to make millions of dollars. But yeah, we'll see.
And I think they'd be happy to be shown the way.
Yeah,
kind of learn about it.
Oh my God, man! If we could get some,
Thinking about the opportunity.
like our Vitalik.
Yeah,
Russia has their own one, and Switzerland stole them from them. But we could get our own. Who knows?
And even talking about this stuff and staying up on like the news and trends and figuring out what's going on, I think it makes you a better investor. And
Oh, for sure, man. And hopefully we'll start. We're going through all the nuts and bolts now, but at some point we'll start doing more current event, more. Well, so the plan is for this to be more educational, and then for us to meet at other times to do more serious So you can't promote investing,
right,
in Ethereum blockchain. Of course, we talk about it, blah blah blah, but I can't have a.
I'm not a financial advisor.
I'm not a financial advisor. Yeah. So I think that's obvious, but yeah. So all that we'll do in private, and I think that I'd love to have you for this stuff, man. That'd be
Love
awesome.
to discuss it. Yeah.
But yeah, so moving on with some of this Ethereum. So anyways, also now Bitcoin confirms its transactions in 30 minutes. So it takes roughly 30 minutes for you to know if a Bitcoin transaction has gone through. Ethereum confirms in about 4 minutes. So Ethereum is way faster than Bitcoin. It has much lower fees. Slightly higher throughput. It's higher through. It can handle more transactions. However, let's just be clear. MasterCard and Visa can handle about 200,000 transactions a second. Ethereum, which is way superior to Bitcoin, can handle about 30.
Period or 30,000.
30 period.
30 period.
Yeah. So MasterCard and Visa is 200,000. Ethereum, it might be 80 a second, but it's so far less than MasterCard and Visa. Sometimes people will talk about using these things as a currency and whatever, and to some degree it will become used as a currency, or I think of it more as an investor's currency. Mm-hmm. But the idea that it'd be used for buying bubble gum or whatever, I call that the next Ethereum. But whatever the next program that beats Ethereum, that one might be able to handle 1,000 or 100,000 a second.
Is that all the Ethereum, including the ICOs? I mean,
all of it.
Oh wow.
So what he was talking, things that are built at the side of Ethereum, for example, Bitcoin is on the side of Ethereum, Litecoin is on the side, private blockchain is on the side, but things that are built on top of, We Trust, Gemini, and some other things, they all are included in that 30 a second
limitation. So it's a small pipe, or
it's a relatively small pipe.
Certainly, yeah.
It's a relatively small pipe.
Because, see, I think one of the possibilities for this is microtransactions. Every time you listen to a song, every time you read an article on a website, you pay, a fraction of a penny or something like that. I think it's, or play a game or flash game, whatever.
Well, so Vitalik is really smart about this, and he has ideas for microtransactions that are just things that I would never think of. But basically he has a way of lumping them all in so that they're all one transaction rather than 1,000. But it works perfectly for that micro-transaction situation.
Yeah, that would make sense.
But yeah, so then the coding language for Ethereum is called Solidity, and it is Python-based. I don't know much about programming. And it's kind of new, so there's a very low programmer pool. So anyone who's learning it, like a 14-year-old, 15-year-old, 16-year-old, if you're out there and you want to make a whole lot of money, more or less guaranteed when you get older, study Solidity for a year or two, and you might be making thousands, hundreds of thousands of dollars year 3. Whether or not you've gone to college does not matter. But anyways, moving on. So for 720, I'll talk about proof of stake versus proof of work. There's currently roughly 92 million tokens of Ethereum, but there's supposed to be around 90 is what he wanted to keep it at. The market cap of Ethereum the market price is about $400 right now, which means roughly $37 billion if it was fully circulated. So I want to kind of clarify that. The market for Ethereum is not 37 billion because maybe a third of it is held in reserve. Maybe 30 million coins have not been sold. So, always just, whenever you see these market caps, especially for these newer currencies, basically anything but Bitcoin, normally there's not going to be full circulation, so the market caps are not accurate. But anyways, moving on. This is called proof of stake versus proof of work. Bitcoin uses proof of work. Ethereum is going to be using proof of stake. And I'll clarify that in a second. So currently, Ethereum pays a bonus, a miner's bonus, to all the computers who have a graphics card, and it pays these people 500,000 Ethereum every month, which is roughly $20 million. 200 million, sorry. They pay them roughly $200 million every single month. So this essentially creates deflation of the value of Ethereum for everyone else. And essentially, because these miners always sell their Ethereum as soon as they get it usually, they don't hold on to it. If anything, they only do it to sabotage the Ethereum. It's kind of weird. Like, their incentive is to destroy it. I don't know why. But, so these guys, basically, Ethereum is traded around $200 million a day. So around 200 million, so one entire day's worth of trading is paid to a miner every single month right now. It kind of varies how much is paid. Right now it's kind of on the high end. But that's how much we give to these, to everyone who has a graphics card, and basically all of us pay that. However, in the future, in proof of stake modeling, the validators will be the one who get the bonus, and that's the ones who hold on to the tokens, and they are supposed to get about 8% of their Ether as their bonus for holding on to Ethereum. So to become a validator, first of all, you have to have quite a bit of Ethereum at current price. It used to just be $100 of Ethereum or something, but now you have to have something like maybe $20,000 worth of Ethereum or whatever, or you have to be in a pool of people to get $20,000 worth. But you have to have $20,000 worth of Ethereum, and then you'll get an 8% bonus on all your Ethereum as long as you agree to not sell it for a year. So you agree to not sell it for a year, you get an 8% bonus after that year, which is basically paid by everybody else, by the as a tax on everybody else.
And that's as they're doing transactions. Is that when they pay it? Or
no, it'll just be extra Ethereum just popped into the system.
Huh?
Yeah, it'll just be extra Ethereum popped into the system. And then what did I think about the validator? Oh, and the validator question, it's going to always ask a good question, yes or no. It's a computer program thingy. I'll go into this a little bit more, but actually, now's a good time to do it. I should have done more about this, but it'll always ask a yes or no question, and then as long as you always select yes, then you get the money. If you ever select no, unless everybody else also selects no at the exact same time, then you lose all your money.
Wow.
So you always want to just select yes, and then you get your money. But if there's what's called a soft fork is where you're supposed to select no. But if you try to make one happen and not everybody's on board, then you lose all your validator money.
Ah, okay.
So you just want to select yes all the time.
Yes, there's an incentive to not be a corrupt actor, basically.
Yeah, there's
To be a what?
A corrupt or bad actor.
Okay.
Yeah, so in terms of like the mining, the proof of work like Bitcoin, if you want to mess with the Bitcoin, you can try unlimited amounts of time to just have a go at it and see if you can defeat it without any consequence. But with dunkles, they call them, there's nuncles, which do something in the system, and there's dunkles that he created, this brand new term, which he calls dark uncles, bad uncles, I don't know. But he did not, Vitalik doesn't like his uncle. That's one thing that's pretty clear in this. No, I'm just kidding. But so the dark uncles, they remember what you did previously. So like in Bitcoin, you try as many times as you want to fuck with the system. In the proof of stake model, if you fuck with it and you fail, then you lose everything. And the thing that you lose is all your money. So therefore, unless someone has an unlimited supply of money, the cost to try to screw with the proof of stake system is quite high. It's quite high. Now, just on a side note, like a disadvantage of that is that maybe, like Bitcoin, where Bitcoin's stuck in the system where it won't upgrade because not everybody will agree, Ethereum might get in a similar situation at one point where not everybody will agree and no one wants to take the risk to upgrade the system, blah, blah, blah.
Yeah.
So that's one downside to it. But anyways.
Question.
Yeah.
Is there something like a Bitcoin or Ethereum for dummies that I need to read?
No. This is it.
This is it?
This is it.
Jesus, I'm dumb.
No, you're right. Well, we're kind of going backwards. We're starting at the hardest stuff and going to the easiest.
Are we?
Yes.
Good.
Yes.
Well, I'm feeling very dumb.
Well, starting with the harder stuff, going to the easier.
Okay.
It'll all kind of make sense and click. It's very fun
Okay.
at first. So.
Yeah.
It's still that way to me, so.
Yeah. So we got, so to secure a blockchain, they kind of say that you want to have about 10,000 computers running. Roughly the cost to run 10,000 computers, it might cost $20 million one time to buy them all, like $2,000 each, because they're expensive computers. And then the electrical cost is maybe $500 a month per each computer. They use quite a lot of electricity.
Wow.
But even at that pricing, it comes out to roughly $5 million a month as the cost to run the electricity for those computers. Whereas currently, everybody who holds Ethereum, right? You get some?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, everyone who holds Ethereum, we're currently paying $200,000 a month. When once we change to proof of stake, it will be much closer to $200 million a month. Once we change to proof of stake, we'll pay $5 million a month.
Oh, okay.
So costs will go down a bunch.
The cost will go down, like 95% cost reduction. So a lot of people, they question whether or not proof of stake versus proof of work will happen. All I have to say to myself is, a 95% cost reduction? Of course it's going to happen.
Suppose I'm a miner.
Right, then you always try to you want to postpone it as long as possible. But the question is, will it ever happen? Yes. For a 95% cost reduction, someone will make it happen.
Okay.
I think over time, the competition just naturally kind of badgers at it. But.
Yeah, exactly. They badger. And so, an alternative, alternatives to proof of stake. So often people will think of it in terms of proof of work or proof of stake, but but it's better to think of, there's multiple ways of proof of stake. The main thing in Ethereum right now for their proof of stake is that they're saying the people who put all the money into Ethereum are the ones who get to decide when Ethereum changes or does not change. And then also, they are also the people who are paid the new Ethereum. Like, I'll just say for me personally, I had an idea of having the new Ethereum given out to a different group of people, and then having the people who decide all the action, whether to change something, is another group. But the main issue I wanted to just mention there is, while the Ethereum proof of stake, in my opinion, is insanely vastly superior to Bitcoin's proof of work, there could be another form of proof of stake that comes out better than Ethereum one day. If Ethereum doesn't even change it themselves, before it's all done. Okay, so I'll move on to the next one. All right. Yeah, I knew this one would be a hard one. I'm sorry, guys.
No.
Is that okay?
I'm just feeling dumb.
Yeah.
No. Okay.
Still, yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So for 730, smart contracts, finance, and government. Bank account rules. Oh, okay. What was it? Okay, so this is just ideas for smart contracts and blockchain in general. So, yeah, I'm going to get me a plate too. And would you like to take a beer, my man?
Yeah, definitely.
Let's do it.
Thank you.
What flavor?
I don't drink.
Each his own, yeah.
I drink more than my share.
Whatever floats your boat, yeah. Yeah.
Okay. There you go, brother.
Yeah, my wife's the same way. She's not a big drink.
Alright, let's see if we have another in here.
You got that water, Andy?
Yes, got it. Welcome. Let's get some more chips, maybe, and then yeah, come on. We're all in a snacky mode, huh?
No, I didn't.
Yeah.
This is fine for me.
Yeah, it's just plenty, man.
Okay, just chip.
I'm just gonna,
Yeah, all right.
I mean, unless you got the Langostinos.
Whip them out.
Yeah, whip them out. No, Keller, please.
No. We might do some grilled cheese maybe in a bit.
I'm fine.
I'll wait. I am a little hungry, but we might do grilled cheese later.
Okay.
Okay, that sounds good. I'll keep going for this.
Mm-hmm.
All right, so smart contracts, finance and government, just like kind of how can blockchain be used. Did you ask that already?
Yeah. Well, I was curious about the smart contracts. Go ahead, yeah.
Okay, yeah. So smart contracts, like what they are and how they can be used. Okay, so one kind of basic example that I didn't quite realize the benefits of it until I got my Ethereum client, but just the fact you can just open as many bank accounts as you want. That's kind of nice for blockchain. And also, if you're 12, you can open a bank account or whatever. I gave a bank account to my nephew, who's or whatever. He's not really my nephew, but
anybody that can use a computer can get Ethereum. Yeah.
Yeah, anybody who can use a computer can use it. And so he's over in Ohio, and he's 14 years old, and his parents don't use computers at all. He's pretty good with computers or whatever, so he can understand it. And I gave him $25 of Ethereum. It's now $45. But
he's even about investing along the way.
Yeah, he's about investing, and I got him trying to do some. I tried to get him to do some work for me and stuff.
Yeah, I saw where like 10,000 refugees in Syria were helped because they were able to transfer funds through Ethereum. So
yeah,
it's a great way to transfer resources.
Right. Yeah. So that's one use of blockchain or smart contracts in general, and then wills and testament. If you want to make an account and say only $10,000 worth or whatever can come out of this account every year, you could do that, for example, in a smart contract, whereas currently you have to make a will, you have to have an escrow account, you have to rely upon a bank to distribute the money to your heirs, all this other doodah. But with Ethereum, you can have it right into Ethereum. This is not something that's an option with Bitcoin. With Bitcoin, once you have access to the account, you have all the money, that's all there is to it. With Ethereum, you can set all these weird rules. Multi-sig transactions is a thing that's really common and real popular with Ethereum. And that is where, with Bitcoin, you cannot do this, but we have an account where the three of us are on the account, and two people have to enter their password in order for any money to leave. Or what's even more common now is like 12 people are on the account, and 10 people have to enter the password before it can leave, like for board of directors. So then you don't have to worry about as much of the treasurer going rogue and stealing all your money. You don't even have to watch the treasurer. They have no power to even take the money.
Yeah, good checks and balance.
It's much better for checks and balance than like today, where frankly most business organizations, the only thing that stops people stealing money is the goodwill of their employees. It's only through your morals and virtues that you don't go around stealing all the money you can.
Yeah.
And then if
humans aren't perfect, unfortunately.
Yeah, and then the idea is like if you steal a bunch of money, you'll get punished for it one day, and then but it might be quite a long time from now, and the people you steal money from might suffer a lot, like Bernie Madoff, or whatever. Bernie Madoff stole a lot of money from people. They never got their money back. He just went to jail for a little bit or whatever.
A lot, but
Maybe.
it didn't help the people that
The resources
that were left penniless.
Exactly.
But with a multi-sig account, no one can do it on the front end, or it'd be very difficult on the front end.
He uses cryptography to make it like digitally signed, right?
Mhm.
So that it's not even possible.
Yeah, just not. Yeah. So, and then there's financial agreements. There's all kinds of banking, margin loan, option contracts, stock contracts that you could use in a smart contract, whereas Bitcoin, you can't really do that. Like, so with Bitcoin, if I wanted to tell you that, it just isn't a contract or whatever, if this stock goes up from 350 to 400, I will pay you $1,000. If I tell you that and you give me $3 in order to get that deal for me, so you give me $3 first, and then the situation occurs, and then you try to get that $1,000 for me, and maybe I do it, maybe I don't.
Right.
And then I don't even know that you've given me the $3 for 30 minutes. It takes me 30 minutes to know that you've actually done it. Then I give you money, and then you don't know that I've actually done it for 30 more minutes. So it could take an hour or something for us to be confident that our transaction went all the way through. Now with Ethereum, you can set up the situation where I give him this money, and this $1,000 is stuck, and as soon as this thing happens, the $1,000 goes over to me. And so I don't even have the option of stopping it. And it's done instantaneously. You put the $3 in, you know you're going to get the 1,000 or not get it as soon as this other thing is done. Now, this other thing can be an external event, like let's just call it for simplicity, Donald Trump becoming president versus Hillary becoming president. Well, Ethereum does not know which has happened, but if you set the thing to check, and if it's public data, then it can confirm it. Like if you say like go to CNN, find out who CNN claims to be president of the United States, and then execute code based on that information. Or if the weather is a different price, or go to Yahoo Finance, check the stock ticker. If the stock ticker is over X, then do it. So that's how you can make it check external data even within the system.
And I guess it's your responsibility to do your due diligence before you put your $3 in to make sure that
the code works
like that. Yeah.
Yes. So that's what happened with the DAO. So the DAO people.
Calls.
Yeah. So the DAO people, I mean, they did a pretty good job, but they had a mistake, and then the attacker got to steal everybody else's money from that mistake. Not everybody within Ethereum, but everybody within DAO.
Yeah, I just remember like seeing all the blogs about it and then arguing about whether or not they should fix it, and then sure enough, a few days later, someone
you have to fix it.
Fruition.
He was right to fix it, in my opinion. The main issue, if you ignore everything else, the main issue is if he did not fix it, the attackers or the pranksters, they would have received 150 million, if not more, because the Ethereum's gone up in value, so they would have received something equivalent to like $1 billion by this point. If you give pranksters, whose job it is to like fuck with Ethereum, if you give them $1 billion, you're in trouble for many years to come.
Yeah,
you're in trouble for many years to come. But he decided not to do that. So you can also use it for business voting on whether you want to do something. You can use it in governmental voting, like voting in multiple cities, states, etc. You can use it for data. It's also good for data permanence. You can't delete anything that goes on the blockchain. So, like if you put a movie on top of the blockchain, you could never delete it either. So both makes the blockchain humongous that everyone has to download, and then secondly, no one can delete it ever. So you don't want to put things that, anyways. So
what's to stop someone from kind of clogging it up?
From clogging it up, making it costly.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. But yeah, and also to not allow it. Like, for example, Ethereum, the only thing you can upload right now is lines of code, which is like relatively simple. Once it goes to sharding, they might allow some other options. That would be with Serenity, that they're going to go to sharding. Not the one coming up, but the one in like 2 years or a year.
What is sharding?
Sharding is where...
Do you know what sharding is?
I don't.
Yeah, so sharding is like torrent files of movies. So the way torrent works currently, or whatever the case, torrent shards, but all the same. I download a movie, someone downloads a piece of the movie, when I download the movie, I download a piece of the movie from everybody, but from like 100 different people.
Okay.
So sharding works, instead of any one of us downloading the entire movie, I download a third, you the second part, you the third part. And then if I want to watch the movie, I watch my third, and then it takes yours, and I watch it, and then it takes his, and I watch it.
And it's all transparent to you. I mean, you
Yes,
just say, I want to watch Shawshank Redemption, and it runs somehow.
Yes.
It's got the pointers, and it knows which, all right, I'm done with file 1, now go to file 2, which is on this IP address.
That's right, exactly.
And it's decentralized. That way you can't just take one computer down. You can't take down the Netflix server, and then nobody can watch the movies anymore.
Mm-hmm.
It's decentralized because there are little pieces on all these different computers. So if you take one down, everybody else is just going to download the rest of that. All the computers that have the part download.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, I get it.
Yeah, okay. So sharding keeps it small because
You know what a shard is?
Well, I'm learning about it. Yeah.
I mean, it's actually just it's like
glass.
Yeah,
piece of glass,
it's
that's
like
right.
if you break a mirror, you've got all these little pieces, and those are shards of the mirror.
Okay.
So that makes sense. That's why it's like a piece of the file.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so it's a shard of the file. I'm with you now.
Mm-hmm. That's it. So the reason that, and that makes movies essentially possible because, so it could be a 300 gigabyte movie, but 300 people just download 1 gigabyte each. Or something, I know.
Yeah. It's 4K quality.
But, for that, also censorship. There's certain information that, like, governments in particular don't want people to see, about assassinations or, like, corruption within the government that governments try to stop you from looking at.
Yes.
And so if you put it on the blockchain, no one can stop anybody from looking at it. So right now, governments will block IP addresses and all this other kind of crap. Once it's on the blockchain, they can't get rid of it no matter what.
Because, even if they chop off that one computer, it's still all the computers that have it will resend it out.
Mm-hmm. And then accessibility, like you're talking about Netflix, if someone destroys the movies at Netflix, then none of us can watch it. But there's essentially no way to destroy the Ethereum, and anyone who downloads the Ethereum can watch all the movies that are available on it.
And that kind of goes back to, I think you said you got to have 10,000 computers to secure the blockchain. That's in that way they can't take out the one; they have to take out all the half 10,000 probably.
Mm-hmm. Exactly. So in like Bitcoin or whatever, in order to attack Bitcoin, you need to have your own set of 10,000.
Right. You got to get half the blockchain.
Yeah, it's hard. Okay, so current events. I'll just talk on some current events real quick for 740. Last week, Vladimir Putin requested a private meeting with Vitalik, and who's Russian, by the way, Canadian Russian and American. I think he's half American, half Canadian, but he speaks Russian. I believe he's born in Russia and is from Russia.
You got to feel his allegiance is to Russia.
Yeah, his allegiance is probably to Russia. But then now he's working in Switzerland.
Is that because the bank or the Swiss they're funding?
Switzerland are the highest paid people in the world. They're the center of all Western power, when it comes to money, government, and pharmacy, frankly, as well.
Yeah,
But
their banking laws too, right?
In their banking laws. So Switzerland has made a national movement to take over all of the blockchain for the entire world, and they are backing Ethereum. They might back somebody else at some point, but so Switzerland's backing Ethereum. That's why I do it too.
It's like the national digital currency of Switzerland, basically.
Well, it's not yet, but they started something that they call Crypto Valley, which is they just want thousands and thousands of people within one city all becoming programmers for cryptocurrency, because they believe the average pay in Switzerland is $100,000 a year. Now in America it's more like $30,000 is American average pay, but in Switzerland it's $100,000 a year for average pay. But they believe cryptocurrency will pay more than that. So they believe cryptocurrency might pay like $200,000 or whatever the case for the average programmer of cryptocurrency. So even if you're an American person, if anyone's who's like looking to go into career or looking to make a whole lot of money, cryptocurrency is the way to go. I mean, I'm pretty much I gotta learn it. Whatever. There you go. I'll just start studying it. Doesn't matter. You'll get it. We'll get it one day. Even if it takes 2 years, we'll get it. All right, moving on. So Vladimir Putin told Vitalik to come into my offices and have a meeting, and they did that. And now he's considering having his own cryptocurrency for all of Russia. And he might want Vitalik to make it. I'm not sure. Singapore. They got rid of all their bank systems and went on to Ethereum to store all their money. Now they're still using like Singapore dollars, but in terms of how many Singapore dollars each bank has, rather than the central databases, they're using the Ethereum databases.
Wow, so it's definitely more of a programming language. It's more of like a financial programming
Yeah,
language.
but yeah, that's what it's so attractive to finance in particular.
Very interesting.
It'll be attractive to legal, finance, and government. It won't be attractive to, or it won't be as attractive to media and casual use, minor, just because the throughput is kind of limited.
Yeah, I was going to say, going back to your 30 transactions a second limitation.
Right, but yeah, as long as you make those transactions big, doesn't matter. Or you do private blockchain, like so when Toyota and Chase Manhattan are doing their blockchain, it won't count because it's on a private one. It's a different one.
Oh, okay. So it is private because all right.
At least that's my impression. I could be wrong, but that's my impression.
Yeah, because I don't know why they would even start there if it was capped at 30 for everyone.
No, yeah. Toyota's
extremely congested.
Yeah. Toyota doesn't have to like deal with the main Ethereum blockchain. So, so then a couple of days ago, there was a heist on freewallet.org. Everybody who got a wallet, an Ethereum wallet from freewallet.org, and it's kind of like a Coinbase, but a corrupt one that without a history. Well, these guys just stole all their Ethereum. Nothing that can be done about it. And these guys just stole 8 million Ethereum, $8 million. Nobody knows who they are. Nobody knows where they are. It's just so when you're doing these things, it's easier to trust people. So like Coinbase has a history. My Ether wallet is a very, very good one. It has a long history, but if you're kind of a noob like me, I don't know programming for shit. You can't just look up the code yourself. You gotta just go with whatever the community kind of recommends.
Right. Yeah. And you can see usually, I mean, there's resources out there. Reddit's been a great place.
I do Reddit all fucking day, man.
I think that's where I met. Yeah, I learned about those.
Yeah, cool. No, and then okay, just as of yesterday, Ethereum had more transactions per day than Bitcoin. So this is one thing that people just way underestimate in Ethereum. Way underestimate. So, in order to send a Bitcoin, you have to spend like 50 cents, which is given over to the computer people, to send the Bitcoins. Now, with Ethereum, every time you run a code, you have to give more like 5 cents over to the computer people to run the code. But the issue is, the amount of money that I like send, what's between us three or whatever, the amount of money I might send between us three is not a lot. It's infrequent. It's here and there. But the amount of time I spend web browsing, that's a lot.
Yeah.
And each click is like probably 20 transactions being executed with each click. So with all these codes, as more and more codes get put into the Ethereum, I would be unsurprised or whatever. I would not be surprised if even a year from now, even if Bitcoin is still more popular and more known than Ethereum, if the Ethereum is not running 100 times the number of codes that a Bitcoin is. Just because, transactions, just because each code might run 200, and each person might execute 200 codes every like 10 minutes, versus when you transfer money, it's just not very frequent that you need to transfer money back and forth.
Right, yeah. And I think it's kind of amazing that even though Bitcoin's at the very much top of its range as far as like recent price history, it's approaching $3,000, and that's kind of, yeah, no man's land for it. You see Ethereum really like taking the total volume. If you look at all the cryptocurrency market all together, it's really gaining, and like even though Bitcoin's worth more, its transaction volume's waning compared to Ethereum.
Like 3 months ago, Ethereum was a fourth or a fifth the price of Bitcoin. Today, it's about half. I think it'll be probably more than half after this weekend.
Yeah. Bitcoin's about three grand now, right?
Yeah.
So well, that's per coin, but there's way more Ethereum coins.
He's talking about market cap.
Okay, market. Okay, so we're talking about market
Yeah.
cap. Okay,
Yeah.
gotcha.
Yeah. So some other current events. Shapeshift this Thursday on Reddit. Ask Me Anything. The Shapeshift CEO is going to be there.
Okay.
We got to ask him some questions. I don't know what we'll ask him.
Yeah.
We'll do some. And then this weekend, Vitalik is making a presentation to all the rich people of China, and he's going to say, "Why don't you buy some Ethereum?" And I'll just say, typically, after he makes these presentations, they normally go well.
Yeah, I've heard they're really considering basically doing the same thing that Russia and Singapore have done, making it kind of a digital transaction ledger for their dollars, because their yen, I think.
China.
Yeah, the Chinese
China.
Yuan. That's a massive, yeah.
You want to buy before China.
Yeah, and they're probably, I would
don't want
say
2 billion people coming in before you.
Aren't they the biggest cryptocurrency market in the world right now?
They essentially are. Like, I don't know what goes on with China, but whatever goes on there, their government, something, everybody wants to use Bitcoin instead of government money.
Yeah.
In America, we all use most everybody uses government money, and no one has any issues with government money. But in China, there's all kinds of issues. I don't know why. So they're really huge into Bitcoin, and the Bitcoin founder was there. So they'll probably be really big into Ethereum. Oh, and a lot of the programmers, maybe half the programmers for Ethereum, there's like a fourth of them are Russians, half of them are Chinese and Asian, and then another fourth is like American and elsewise. American and European. It's really, I don't know, I don't see many Europeans, frankly. It's like Americans, Russians, Chinese.
That's unsettling, but yeah, hopefully we'll get the STEM going and get back in there.
Yeah. Well, you just want to stay on the forefront of technology. Switzerland will stay on the forefront, and their peoples will be protected, but Americans' peoples, who knows? Metropolis and Shardy, I'm not going to talk about this much. I don't know much about it, frankly. But Metropolis is the one that's going to be released here in a few months, and that's to make a much stronger code, and I think it will have some steps toward proof of stake, which is going to be so exciting. Like, aside the fact I'm excited for the code, for the fucking price of Ethereum, once it goes to proof of stake, and you're no longer paying that $200 a month to these miners, $200 billion a month instead of $5 million a month, that 95% cost reduction or whatever, you're going to see a huge jump in the price of Ethereum, I think. That's my expectation. Then Serenity comes mid-2018, probably. Maybe later. Maybe 2019 might be more accurate for Serenity. And that's the finished product. They'll have proof of stake and they'll have sharding. And sharding makes those big blockchain subsidiaries. So in terms of the throughput, like 30 transactions a second, well, what they could do if they wanted to one day is have all the major cities have their own blockchain, which we talked before is kind of like a private blockchain. But all their major cities have their own blockchain, and then those blockchains go up to a bigger one, and then that goes up one more to a bigger one, and that's the global blockchain.
Ah, okay.
So if you wanted to, you could make Ethereum the global blockchain, and then Knoxville would have its own, called the Knoxville, let's call it Knoxville Coin. Knoxville Coin blockchain, and then Knoxville Coin blockchain is always transferable to Ethereum Coin, and then Ethereum Coin is always transferable to Russia Coin. So you could do Knoxville to Russia and back and forth. Boom.
Yeah.
But you'd have to use sharding and subsidiaries to get that done. That's the best way that I can think of to get past the 30 output. When Serenity is done, aside the sharding, it will be up to like 200 instead of like 30 or 80 or whatever the case. It'll be up to like 200 by then. But still, it'll be nothing close to 200,000.
Why did they restrict it in the first place?
Oh no, it's just the code. They can't do it because every computer has to run it.
Ah, okay.
Yeah. So, yeah, exactly. So this is Vitalik. Everybody will talk about proof of stake, proof of work, blah 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 blah. Vitalik essentially says nothing matters except getting that throughput number higher. Vitalik is obsessed about getting that throughput number higher because he wants to get 200,000, but he's at like 30. He's like, this is the only thing that matters about blockchain right now is getting that number bigger.
If it's going to be a real currency that people are going to transact, yeah, you've got to be able to get more than 30 a second.
Yeah, so this is why Bitcoin and SegWit was talking about. SegWit doubled the amount of transactions per second, but a lot of people were just like, whatever, let's not worry about it, and it just gets ridiculous.
If you try to send a Bitcoin right now, it's probably going to take, well, definitely many multiples of what it used to take, but I don't know, hours for sure at this point. So.
And a lot of money.
Yeah.
Major investors and developer, there's Vitalik Buterin. He's the visionary, the programmer, the kind of the spokesman too. He's quite social. He's 23, travels all over the world, which, I always get worried that he'll get hurt, but he speaks Chinese, he speaks Russian, he speaks American, he probably speaks French or something, who knows. German, I wouldn't be surprised. He learns language. He likes to learn languages and communicate with foreign peoples. But anyways, he's easy to get a hold of, and that's very reassuring, because if we ever have problems with Ethereum, we just go to him. No, I'm just kidding. That's not how it works. But I've had chats with the guy.
Really?
Yeah.
That's cool.
I've had a few chats with the guy. Not like maybe one-on-one, but I mean some one-on-one, but group one-on-one. Group discussions. But he's accessible. Yeah. Gavin Wood, Dr. Gavin Wood, he's the one who wrote the yellow paper, the programming language for Ethereum, basically. Jeffrey Wilk, I don't see him much, but he's the technical steering group of the Ethereum Foundation. I'm going to jump to the bottom. Ming Chan, I don't see her much, but she's the executive director for the Ethereum Foundation. Vlad, he's kind of important to know about. Vlad is in charge of sharding, and he's also into governance of Ethereum, and he's the community's skeptic. If you ever want to just panic about your Ethereum investment, just talk to Vlad, and he'll essentially tell you, never buy Ethereum, it's terrible. I work here, I hate it.
Great advertising.
Yeah, Vlad, anyways, he's a good guy, he's fun, but he'll make you panic if you get panicky.
Okay.
Yeah, Nick Johnson, he's in charge of the ENS, the domains of Ethereum, .eth, which I bought quite a few of. And in terms of, people always talk about, or people have the false impression that they can't get into Ethereum without money. These domains, me and my buddy, we're picking them up for $1 each at the time. But we're picking them up for $1 each, and we're getting some major domains that might, someone might have been buying something similar for $1 million or whatever. some of these domains did sell for like hundreds of thousands of dollars.
Wow. The Ethereum ones? Or the
Yes, the
ones?
Ethereum.
Oh, wow.
.eth, like exchange.eth. Exchange.eth might have sold for like 20 million or 100 million. Banking.eth sold for quite a bit. So these domains, just to talk about briefly, and again, Bitcoin cannot do this. Instead of sending Ethereum to like wild numbers and letters, I can send Ethereum to midnightdiscovery.eth. I did get midnightdiscovery.eth. It's not set up yet. You know, to the computer people out there, bless me. But I can't. I haven't set up the. But I can get it instead of like. So if you want to pay with your Ethereum, instead of that wild, you kind of saw it before, that X0, Y2, Y3, 5, 7, 8, 9, 10. Instead of telling you that entire code that you have to copy and paste, I can just tell you to go to midnightdiscovery.eth and pay that. So those domains will become hugely valuable in the future. And currently, if you pick one, it probably costs $1 to buy it. And everyone who owns Ethereum should buy one. Everyone who owns Ethereum should buy one.
Like my name and
your name.
Do you think
maybe
like all
a
the
minimum.
blue chips are bought up? I mean, obviously that'd be.
But most of the blue chips are bought up. But like, so the Ethereum people. So I think it's good to buy things for emotions, things that are emotions are tied to, or that are clearly understandable. Like I bought dailywage.eth.
Yeah.
Because in terms of financial transactions, paying people for labor, a daily wage or whatever, that's something that it's easy for people to type in. They sort of need to be, at this point, they need to be 2 words, 2 short words. Everybody can spell daily wage. And I could set up a payroll service for that. And, you know, either if I use it or somebody else uses it, it's pretty clear as to, like, what the use of daily wage would be. But if you buy something like Toyota.eth, or whatever, a lot of them are bought, number one. But secondly, your only customer is Toyota. And it might be a long time till they need to purchase Toyota.eth. And then once you buy these things, you have unlimited subdomains, which they call it. So I also have Lucky Bank, which is one of my favorite. I don't know, I just really like. I just like Lucky Bank. So I could be Keller.LuckyBank, Phil.LuckyBank, Sean.LuckyBank, and I could set that up all right now, and you could all use it if you wanted to. I don't know how to, but someone can.
Yeah, and it would be much easier. That's the same reason we use domain names now, instead of typing a random string of numbers for an IP address.
Yeah, exactly. So you know about all that programming stuff?
A little bit, yeah, here and there. So.
Yeah, so that's that, and then... But Nick Johnson is in charge of that, and he's also active on the forums. He's pretty interesting. He's a nice guy. 770, I'll talk about forking in the DAO. This is kind of important, but I know we're getting kind of long here. Do we want to save some of this, or just go ahead and we got 3 more to do?
I need to. How about 7:30? Cut it off.
Yeah. What time is it?
It's about 7:23.
Okay, yeah, sounds good.
Hey, I'll be back tomorrow. So.
Okay, great. Yeah, cool. Cool. All right, yeah, this was way long. I'm sorry. Well, hey, let's cut it off and save it for tomorrow.
Okay.
So, yeah, we'll just do some light chat. But man, okay, a little introduction for Ethereum for you, huh?
Huh, yes.
I think
good introduction for me too. Yeah.
I think you're picking up on some of it too. Yeah, that's good.
Definitely.
I know you're kind of like, I know you're way into this stuff.
Yeah, I definitely think it's very intriguing. I think the best example, it might not be, so like peer-to-peer, when I first got on it was Napster, as far as and it wasn't the long term. I think Bitcoin's analogous to Napster, but I think the blockchain technology is analogous to P2P technology, and I think that's
about right.
Yeah, I think the blockchain technology is not going anywhere. That's very much the future. That's how we're going to transact contracts, real estate, any asset class is going to be transacted on blockchain in the future, I feel like. So I think it's very interesting, and I think it's very pertinent.
Dude, Sean, I'm super glad you came tonight, man. But yeah, do you have any, goals or whatever? You know what I mean?
Just learn, maximize quality of life. That's the general one, obviously, but,
if you don't mind.
Specific ones, but
Yeah.
are we still on the
Yeah,
camera?
no. Want me to stop it? Yeah, let's do that. Alright, good stuff. See you guys.